So, goat debates. Can we please stop them? They are so dumb and stupid because it's literally just people complaining and disagreeing with each other's opinions, which, by definition, opinions are your own personal views. And whatever someone points out isn't going to change them. Like, in sports, I hate that anytime a top player does something good, it starts up these great debates of, oh, is A better than B or blah, blah, blah. It's so annoying because, again, it's your own personal opinions. Everyone, well, I think most people have their own view on who the best in the sport is. Like for me, I follow, well, mostly football and MMA. I have my opinions on who the best are, who I think the best of all time are. I'm happy to discuss with you, like, this is who I think is the best, and this is why. And you can say, oh, I think this is the best, and this is why. I don't care. I don't understand why people have to debate and argue because, like, I know it's funny in a good amount of when people like with a food, let's say, strawberries or something. That's a terrible one, but whatever. If I go like, oh, I like strawberries, and you're like, no, I don't like strawberries, and I'm like, haha, you're stupid, your opinion's wrong, and all of this. It's funny if it's a joke, but people are that dumb that they legitimately think like that. Like, I'll give my own views on both of my sports because I want to. Because I don't want to, because if I put any of this out onto like Twitter or Instagram, I'm going to get hate and I'm going to get told why I'm stupid and I should go die, because that's what people will do. It gets responses, it sells, which is why it's really annoying. But like for football, oh, and that was what I also want to say in preference why I'm saying this is because with every sport, there's always different measures of greatness. There's different measures of greatness and what skills and things actually go into your sport, into your position, into your play style, everything like that. Like in terms of football, for a defender, you can't just measure it on how many tackles you have because there's so much more that goes into it. In MMA, for like a wrestling based stuff, for a wrestler, we'll just go with that. For a wrestler, the best wrestler can't just be who has the most takedowns. There's no actual way to, I guess, quantify or get a number why this person's the best, why this athlete's the best, blah, blah, blah. There's so many different aspects. If we go into those same examples, for a defender, there's a lot of different aspects, but you have standing tackles and slide tackles. Who says there's a difference of one's better than the other? You can't actually quantify that. For wrestling, for MMA, for a wrestler, is a takedown where you're up against the cage, is that better than a takedown from out in the open? There's no way to quantify that. You can't tell that because there's so many different aspects, and that's why it's down to someone's own opinion, which is why I want to say mine, because again, it just establishes why. Like for me, for football, I think the greatest player of all time is Cristiano Ronaldo. I think he's amazing. I think pretty much literally since I've been alive, since I was born, he's been able to stand out and show up in game after game after game, even in games or cup ties that realistically aren't important. He's the star of the show. He's one to stand out, and you can watch a game and look back and go, that run that he did, amazing. That goal that he scored, amazing. You can say that game after game after game. And then even more important games in knockout ties, games that you're behind in, whether that be in the first leg or at half time, when you're in quarterfinals, semi-finals, great, like the finals themselves, he's always been able to even outshine himself. Like moments like against Wolfsburg and Atletico Madrid in the Champions League where they were 2-0 down and he scored a hat-trick to send Real Madrid and Juventus through. Amazing. I love those moments. Or even the Champions League final against Juventus in Cardiff, I want to say. I think it was that year. When he scored the breaks, he scored those 2 goals against them and they won 4-1. Even it was incredible. He just consistently has been able to show up and show out, and he outperforms himself even in those massive games, which is why I think he's the greatest footballer of all time. In MMA, I think the greatest fighter of all time is Khabib Nurmagomedov. I think because he's been so dominant in all 29 matches that he's had, they haven't been close. They haven't actually been competitive, and I think that just shows the greatness of him. Like in his supposedly toughest matches against his best opponents, McGregor, Poirier, Gaethje, he mauled them. Those fights weren't competitive. All of those fights, there were so many predictions and discussions before. It's like split 50-50. Oh, will they win? Blah, 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 blah. And Khabib just, he mauls them. He just mauls them and finished them all off. Like, oh, nothing. Like he was fighting me. Like, that kind of domination it's unmatched, I think. And that's why I think he's the greatest fighter of all time. And this will lead on to my next point about these stupid GOAT debates, is that people don't understand that for football, I prefer Ronaldo. I prefer and think Ronaldo's better than Messi. Doesn't mean I hate Messi. I think his goal against Bilbao, I want to say, in the Copa del Rey final in 2015, my favorite solo goal ever. That was beautiful. That year where he scored like 91 goals in the calendar year. What the hell? That's incredible. I can't, like, how could anyone ever look at that and go, nah, he's terrible, overrated that lad is. If he wasn't from Argentina, it'd be dumb. I don't know. But I easily think he's the second best of all time. And then in MMA, because I think Khabib's the best ever, doesn't mean I think Jones is bad. Jones has one loss for a reason. Because, I mean, the one loss is because of he elbowed him in the face, which is illegal. Ooh. But he's won all of those. I think he's won all of those matches basically because of how much of a golden freak he is. He's a genetic freak. He's literally been able to clear out to an older generation, still being a kid. He was still like 24, but in terms of MMA, that's a kid. Cleared out the older generation, cleared out his generation, and began clearing out this generation, the next one as well. Like, a bum doesn't do that. He's amazing, Jones is. Amazing. Side note, fight Francis Ngannou, please. I will happily buy that one. Hello. But people are so dumb with these GOAT debates that because they think they have an opinion on one thing, means they have to hate the other thing. Yeah, they have, because they have an opinion of person A is the best, that means they have to hate person B, C, D, blah, blah, blah. And anyone who has their own personal opinions on those guys, that means they have to hate them as well. And it's so annoying because that's what sells. People want to argue. People want to argue and just be annoyed and angry at other people and say, oh, you're wrong, I'm right, blah, blah. And it sells so much. Every kind of sports journalist and everything, whenever the top person does it, go debate, go debate, go debate, go debate. And that's what sells. Like on YouTube, if you go and watch like a Messi versus Ronaldo debate, that's going to have 1,000,000 times more views and likes and dislikes than like a match review of a Euro game, like England versus Germany. Even though all those English fans that are, I don't want to get into that one. all of that stuff. The GOAT debate sells. Controversy sells. And I don't care if everyone was out here complaining about all these GOAT debates, and then if everyone complained about it, but then still someone posts a GOAT debate and everything, everyone's just going to flock towards and go, yeah, this is my opinion, you're wrong here. It's so annoying because it's never going to end, and it's going to annoy me and piss me off every single time it happens in every single sport. Very ranty, this one. Probably didn't make a lot of sense, but I was just doing stuff in the garage and I thought about this and I'm like, yeah, I really want to vent about this. So yeah, GOAT debates. Screw them.